It's dark in here. I'm leaving early this morning, and I'm sorry if this is really dark. It's been gray for like 12 days straight, and because I'm driving to work earlier this morning, the sun isn't even up yet. I don't think it's just after. It's almost 7:30. Anyway, morning, Bruce. Let's go to work. I want to talk about something that happened post-inauguration. Alternative facts. I like Kellyanne Conway. I think she's sharp as a tack. Oh crap, that's light. I think she's really sharp. I think she's smart. I think she ran an amazing campaign. Despite the fact that she spent the first part of the election campaign working for somebody else and calling into question Donald Trump. When she finally did start working for the Trump campaign, she pulled out all the stops and she got the man elected, so kudos to her. But she was not treated very well during the inauguration. Yesterday, she used a poor choice of words, something called alternative facts, when they were questioning about Sean Spicer's screed at the White House press room or whatever. It wasn't even a press conference because he didn't even take questions. He just came out and said, "Look, media, yesterday you guys are engaged in." This was on Sunday. He was talking about, was it Sunday or Saturday? It was on Saturday. He was talking about what happened on Friday. Yesterday, you guys engaged in pretty shitty behavior. I'm paraphrasing, of course. You said that somebody removed Martin Luther King's bust from the Oval Office when that didn't happen. And it wasn't until, it was pointed out that it didn't happen that the person, removed their tweet. And this was a journalist who did this, right? It was irresponsible for them to do that. That was what he was basically saying. And then people were questioning the size of the inauguration. How many people attended, how many people viewed, blah, 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 blah. And Spicer said something that was controversial and the people, jumped all over him for, and Kellyanne Conway had to try and defend it. He said that this inauguration was the most viewed inauguration in history, both in person and through media, or something along those lines. And people said, well, that's just not true. More people attended Obama's inauguration, and his 2008 inauguration or 2009 inauguration, had higher Nielsen ratings. Okay, let's dissect this. So this is where the alternative facts come in, right? Chuck Todd had her on his program in the morning, and she made the poor choice of words, alternative facts. But the actual facts of the matter, and this is something she should have said, the actual facts of the matter are, yes, more people watched on TV and on traditional broadcast and cable media in 2008. But compare 2009 or 2008. Compare 2009 to 2017, right? How many smartphones were there in 2009? Were there more smartphones in 2017 than in 2009? Yes. Were there more tablets, internet-enabled tablets available or in people's possession in 2017 as opposed to 2009? Yes. Did people have greater access to the internet, high-speed internet access in 2017 than in 2009? Yes. Were more people worldwide engaged in this election than in 2009? Yes, just given the controversial nature of the candidates, just given the rhetoric that was involved, just given the state of the current, global climate in terms of, political climate. Yes, people were watching with bated breath. Was a globalist going to get in, or was a nationalist going to get in? Was a career politician going to get in, or was an outsider going to get in? Yes, more people were engaged during the election cycle in 2016 than were in 2008. I have every confidence in the world that Google metrics will confirm that point. If you look at Google searches throughout the entire 2008 campaign and compare the number of Google searches that were campaign related or election related in 2016, I have no doubt that more people were looking up the election in 2016 than in 2008. Now, a lot of that's technology related, right? Just the fact that more people have high-speed internet access than they did 8 years ago. Are more people getting their media through online sources than through traditional broadcast and cable news sources than did in 2008? Absolutely. All you have to do is look at the statistics regarding how the mainstream media is regarded in terms of trustworthiness, in terms of viewership. See, this is where we run into the issue of logic bubbles, right? So, if all those things are true, access, technology, engagement, if all those things are true about this time, this year's inauguration and 2008's inauguration, and I'm not going to go all the way back to pre-internet age to compare those, because people are saying, oh, Reagan's was more viewed on TV. That is irrelevant at this point. Nielsen ratings have become less and less relevant, right? And they don't have data on how many people watch the inauguration online. The New York Times article that people are citing, and the Snopes page that people are going where it says unproven, they're leaving out the fact that more people are getting their media online, and they simply don't have the analytics of that at this point. I mean, I'm sure they have analytics from 2008, 2009, but do they have the analytics? Are they bringing out the analytics in 2016, for 2016, 2017 yet? Maybe they have them, but they haven't released them and they haven't put them out there as part of this story. Because the fact of the matter is, it's a non-story. But I want to touch on the idea of the logic bubble, right? For broadcast media and cable news, Nielsen ratings are everything. They live and die by them. They exist by them. If people aren't watching on traditional, they're a dinosaur in that sense. If people aren't watching on TV screens, then they're not watching. This is the mindset behind the Nielsen ratings, right? So the idea being then that this is all they see. That's why they say, well, more people watched the Reagan inauguration than either inauguration, either 2008, 2009, 2013, or 2017. Yes, on traditional broadcast media. But more people, I am certain, got their media worldwide and were watching the inauguration worldwide on internet-enabled platforms, right? And if you look at the Google metrics, the Google Analytics, which are, again, I haven't, but I'm sure they'll bear this out. And if I'm wrong, please tell me. I am certain that more people were searching this election, and more people probably searched this inauguration too, than they did in 2008, 2009. If those things are true, then more people watched this inauguration than they did in 2008, 2009. And that's where, that's where it stands. So for them to, mock and belittle and try and turn, alternative facts into the new buzzword that's to replace fake news, because that the mainstream media are looking to replace the fake news buzzword. That they're desperate to replace that because they realize they've been caught out on it. And the thing that was disturbing to me, and the thing that clearly bothered Kellyanne Conway, was when she was on with Chuck Todd, she said this phrase, alternative facts, and Chuck Todd immediately snickered, as if to say, honey, only we have the facts. How wrong they are. How wrong they are. They exist in this logic bubble. This logic bubble which tells them, well, if our interns look it up on the internet and they can find data to corroborate our narrative, well, then we have the facts. And that's all there is to it. They don't actually do research anymore. They have interns, either paid and unpaid, sitting in their offices and when they, you know that this is happening. When they say, can we get fact check on that? That's some either paid or unpaid intern or producer looking things up on the internet to try and corroborate or try and debunk what has just been said. They don't have any special journal machine, any special magic journalistic computer. They're using the same internet everybody else is. So all they need to do is look for an article, a tidbit, a piece somewhere that confirms their narrative or debunks the other guy's narrative, and they say, it's a fact. And this is the problem with journalism. They're not doing any of the heavy lifting involved in meeting their mandate, which is to inform, to provide information and inform. They don't actually do journalism anymore. They do internet search, and then they broadcast that like it's fact. And this is the logic bubble, right? And again, the Nielsen rating inspired logic bubble, this idea that, well, this is how we've been doing things for the last, 12 election cycles, and that's tried and true. Never mind the change in media acquisition, media dissemination. Never mind the fact that people have more access to information now through the internet than they ever did at any time in human history. Never mind the fact that everything is streamed online now. If it's on TV, it's also online. So, and the logic bubble is witnessed in other places as well, right? Take, for instance, this is a point that's been labored a million times on the internet, but I'll do it again anyway, because it's a salient point and it makes the point clear. The logic bubble for the left regarding the wage gap, right? So the wage gap is men make $1, or women make 79 cents or 77 cents or whatever the hell it is for every dollar a man makes. And that's discrimination, and that's an injustice, and yada, yada, yada. The previous president, President Obama, even came out and said it in a speech. He even cited this data without qualifying it to say, look, this is just one aggregate statistic which puts every working man and every working woman in the United States and compares their salaries top to bottom. And on average, yes, women earn less than men earn. It does not take into account the choices that women make. It does not take into account maternity leave. It doesn't take into account what major they studied in college, what kind of careers they've gone into. So yes, it's a fact that women earn less than men, but the actual facts of the matter, the alternative facts of the matter. See, I don't want to start using, owning alternative facts, because it's kind of a poor choice of words. It sounds like a weasel word. But the actual facts of the matter is, all of these statistics, all of these data, all this information regarding the wage gap or the earnings gap is borne out by the fact that women simply make different choices than men. Women simply choose different careers that don't pay as well necessarily, because they have that choice. They have the ability to choose what is going to make them happy. Anyway. But that's a logic bubble that the left get involved in. They found one data point, they found one piece of statistics which confirms their biases, and they've decided that this is all the information they need. So if anybody, says that's not true regarding the wage gap, they're like, oh, you just don't know what you're talking about. I have data. Well, you don't have data though. You don't have the right data, or at least you're not citing the right data. Anyway, I'm at work now. I could go on and on and on about logic bubbles. There's plenty of other logic bubbles. And there's plenty of other, alternative facts out there. But I just wanted to jump to the defense of Kellyanne Conway and jump to the defense of, of her choice of phrase, and jump to the, speak to the argument that, of a really insignificant point when it comes right down to it, that more people watched the inauguration in 2009 than it did in 2017. And people, the issue is that people came out and said, well, why are you making such a big stink out of something that was said yesterday when it's so insignificant? Well, it wasn't insignificant enough for you to talk about it. The media decided that they wanted to make it an important point of the inauguration. It wasn't just a passing phrase. They labored it, right? And when Spicer came out and addressed it, they labored it even more. They labored the fact that more people went on the Women's March than showed up for the inauguration. Again, so what? You know, it's an irrelevant point. It doesn't make any difference to the outcome of the election. But the media have decided that this is something that they want to harp on because it can delegitimize the presidency. It can say, look, yeah, he won, but he's really not that popular. People don't really like him. People protested him, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, people also set fire to cars and trucks in the city. Are we to give them a platform now? Are we to say, well, that's the real story. That's really what's important. The fact that people set fire to cars, as opposed to, you know, this guy got elected. Anyway, I could go on and on and on, but I'm at work and I have to go to work and pay the bills. But thanks very much for watching. You can follow me on Twitter at CraigBragg, CraigBragg, and you can like and subscribe to the channel. You can go to my Facebook page, Craig Bragg's Jimmy Rustling Politics page. Craig Bragg's Jimmy Rustling Politics page. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.